Time now for everybody's favorite guessing game, What's My Line? Brought to you by New Stopette, America's leading spray deodorant. Now with its anti-immunity factor. Poof! There goes perspiration. Now let's all play What's My Line?
Now let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in the New York Journal-American and papers coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
And tonight, never mind about our favorite humorist on this panel, but tonight we want to congratulate our favorite bridegroom, Jayne Meadows' husband, Mr. Steve Allen.
Thank you. Thank you, Dorothy. Thank you very much. And on my left, one of TV's loveliest cover girls, Miss Arlene Francis.
Thank you, Steve. We don't feel we've lost a son. We feel we've gained a daughter. And on my left, one of the town's most terrific publishers on the one hand, and the man that makes the most terrible puns on the other hand, Mr. Bennett, Cerf. We love it.
Arlene, I must tell you, you don't make puns with the hand. On my word.
On
my left is that paragon, that apotheosis of perfect panel moderators, Mr. John Charles Daly.
Thank you, Bennett. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line. It's a very hot Sunday night, but we anticipate we'll cool the panel off very shortly because we've got some very interesting contestants with some very interesting occupations. We trust that the contestants have some fun and, well, small price to take home in memory of a pleasant evening spent on What's My Line. We'll also have a famous guest challenger a bit later, but I think it's time for the experts to meet our first challenger whose job has to be spotted. Would you sign in, please, sir?
George. George Burnside? Is that right, sir?
Now, Mr. Burnside and I had a small discussion just a few minutes ago when I first met him outside, and he said he was going to have his coat buttoned. Now, that shows you what television will do to you. I'll unbutton mine, you button yours. Now we're all set. Where are you from, Mr. Burnside?
Lake Ronkonkoma, Long Island.
I beg your pardon?
Lake Ronkonkoma, Long Island.
Lake
Ronkonkoma.
Yes, out in Long Island. Well, that's grand. Well, if you can say long words like that,
yes, sir.
You can walk that short distance. Will you get over and let the panel have a quick look at you?
Now, if you'll come over here, please, sir, and sit down next to me. The panel at this point gets one free guess because they have heard you pronounce Lake whatchamacallit, and you have taken a walk down there. And we always begin free guesses with Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
I think he's a clergyman.
A clergyman, Mr. Allen.
He must run some kind of a camp at Lake Ronkonkoma.
Miss Bradford.
No, I think he has a real estate development there.
Mr. Cerf.
Well, a fellow named Burnside used to run the old hippodrome, so maybe this Mr. Burnside's in show business, too.
No, I'm afraid nobody has it. We'll let our viewers at home have a further look at Mr. Burnside, and at the same time, we'll tell them what his line is. All right, Mr. Burnside, you know how we score this. We just flip cards.
Yes, sir.
The more cards we flip, the better we like it. Are you all ready to go?
I am, sir.
All right, Mr. Burnside is salaried. With that, let's begin the general questioning with Bennett, sir.
Mr. Burnside, do you perform a service of some kind?
Yes.
Is it an inside job? That is it done in some kind of an enclosure?
Yes.
Do people come to you for the service? Do they come more than one at a time in a group? Might you describe the people who come as a type of audience? Well, if they're... Well, do they watch you doing something?
No.
One down, 9 to go, Miss Kilgallen. I'm going to have trouble with that one, I can see it.
They both did the same.
You can perform your services for more than one person at a time?
I do, yes.
Do you speak to them?
Yes.
Is your obviously charming personality of value to you in your work?
Actually, I would say this, that certainly Mr. Burnside's pleasant personality is useful in his work, and unless you be misled, I think Mr. Burnside will agree he doesn't have to speak to everybody who comes to make use of his service.
That's right. Yes.
But you do have occasion to speak to them sometimes.
Yes.
Are these human beings who come
Yes.
to you? And in order for you to perform your services, it is not necessary for them to bring any animals or other creatures.
No.
Yes, it is not. No, that's right.
Do your services pertain to both men and women?
Yes.
Do you give them some sort of advice or counsel?
No.
No, I wouldn't think so. 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Allen.
Lake Ronkonkoma sounds still very festive to me. Is there anything at all amusing or pleasurable about the work you do?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
I think perhaps we just want to make clear the term of reference. Do you have it in the term of reference of entertainment, etc., amusement? I mean, you used the word amusement, Steve, and I just don't want to mislead you.
Make it easy on yourself, John. No, just something very loosely. Is it...
Well, I mean, I think Mr. Burnside very properly feels that his service, as I'm sure is true of all of us, we feel the services we can render give pleasure.
Well, then I guess I just got a lucky guess on that one. Is there any special training required for your job?
No.
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Francis.
Would you wear pretty much the sort of thing you have on now at your job?
Sometimes.
You could wear something other than what you're wearing?
Yes.
When the people come to see you, do they ever come in pairs?
Yes. Yes.
Would maybe 4 or 6 pairs be there at the same time?
Yes.
And occasionally a peach comes.
Oh, come on. 4 pairs and a peach. Thank you, John.
That's all right.
A fruitful answer.
Do they ever come there in the hope of meeting or seeing other people?
No.
I wouldn't think so. 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Burnside, do these people who come to you go away better people for having met you in some way or other?
Sometimes.
Do they? Would you cleanse them either physically or spiritually in some way?
I beg your pardon?
You're good for them either physically or spiritually in some way.
You mean in a specific term of reference, either physically or spiritually?
Yeah.
Well, that'll knock that one off. Beautiful. That's 5 down and 5 to go, Miss Kilgallen. Now, it's a very general thing. Again, Mr. Burnside would hope that he does perform his service to such great satisfaction that people feel a sense of well-being, you see. 5 down and 5 to go. Miss Kilgallen, I'm going to give you about 1 minute more on this one.
Mr. Burnside, do you work at a specified time of the day or night? Is your work...
A certain number of hours per day or night?
Well, not a certain number of hours, John, but...
I mean the same
is his
span.
work more indigenous to the daytime than the nighttime or vice versa?
Is your work more indigenous to the daytime?
Daytime, yes.
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 Mhm.
Yes.
What was it?
It's indigenous.
Daytime. Could unmarried people come to you to avail themselves of your services?
Yes. Yes.
Could children?
Yes.
And would they be wearing ordinary street clothes when they came to you? Would they come to you in hope of getting... Well, is there any product involved in what you do?
No.
6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Allen.
All right, I will. Is your activity profit-making?
No. Do you work for some branch of the law?
No.
No?
Do you
Mr.
work...
Cerf.
Do you have anything to do with charity or church work?
No.
No.
Government?
No.
No. That makes it 10 down and no more to go, and Mr. Burnside is the manager of Grant's tomb. Just a clear up the small element of mystery that may remain, Grant's Tomb is run by an association, a private association, but it is a non-profit association. Therefore, we could give you no answers to all those final
I think
questions.
it's appropriate, John, that a man as cheerful-looking as Mr. Burnside should have that job.
I think it's wonderful, and thank you very much, sir. Glad to have you with us. Hope you had a good time. All right, panel, let's see what you can do with the second challenger. Would you sign in, please, sir? James Nelson White. Is that right? Where are you from, Mr. White?
Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Yes, sir.
Well, fine. I think perhaps the panel ought to get a chance, since you came from so far away, to get a better look at you, you know. So would you walk down there and let them just see how you walk and so forth?
Taller than I am.
How are you, Mr. White?
Sixth grade.
Howdy.
What's that in your lapel?
This here, Camel watch.
Oh, for goodness sake.
All right, Mr. White, will you come over here, please, now and sit down, sir? And the panel will get one free guess as to what your line may be, which is our custom, and we will begin the free guesses with Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
I think he's a novelist.
A novelist, Mr. Allen.
I think he sells watches.
Miss Francis.
I think he's an organist.
Mr. Cerf.
I think he's running in politics.
No, I'm afraid not. We'll let our viewers have a further look at Mr. James Nelson White, and at the same time we'll tell them what his line is. Now, Mr. White, we'll let the panel go to work. You know how we score this thing, flipping the cards here every time you give a no answer. All set?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. White is self-employed. With that, let's begin the general questioning with Steve Allen.
Do you deal in services of any sort, sir?
Yes, sir.
You are a man. Is your work, in a very general sense, done more often by men, would you say, than women?
Yes.
South Carolina, is it?
Yeah.
Do you work in the great outdoors at all?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Do you, in any way, are you in any way connected with growing things?
1 out of 9 to go, Miss Francis.
That laugh sounded as though he had something to do with stunting things, didn't it? Is there any product involved in what you do?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. White, you look as though you could sell things. Do you sell any kind of thing?
No.
No?
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, do you need any special training in what you do?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Allen.
In the very broadest sense, is there anything at all agricultural about your work?
5 down and 5 to go, Miss Francis.
Do you deal with human beings in your job?
Yes.
You deal with women
Yes.
and men? Once in a while, doesn't a man come to ask you about the woman?
Yes.
And you give this woman some kind of advice regarding something?
Yes.
I would say that probably is part of it, yeah.
There is no product.
That's right. It's been elicited.
Do you go to the woman's house ever?
Sometimes.
But most of the time she would come to you.
That's right.
Do you work in an office of any kind?
Sometimes.
Sometimes in an office. Are there other people doing the same job that you're doing in this particular place?
Yes.
Do you have anything to do especially for married women?
No.
That makes it 6 down and 4 to go. I'm going to give you 1 minute more, Mr. Cerf, because I don't think you're close on this.
Well, Mr. White, you deal then primarily with unmarried women.
That's right.
Would the sort of service you perform bring them any nearer to the altar than they had been before, possibly?
Yes.
Well, you don't...
I would say that in specific terms, Bennett, this might mislead you, this yes answer, so we'll give you a no answer. Will that be all right? 7 down and 3 to go. It does not specifically bring you closer
He's not a
to the
marriage
offer.
broker or anything like that.
No, it's not a marriage broker. All right. 30 seconds to go. Miss Kilgallen.
Well, Mr. White, do you do something that improves these ladies in some fashion?
Improves them in some fashion?
Yes, either physically or mentally or emotionally.
Well, I think it's possible that so these young women, or some of them, might feel that they've been improved emotionally or something, you know.
Do you do anything where people watch what you're doing?
Yes.
Do you entertain people?
Yes.
Do you have anything to do with sports?
No.
No, I'm going to flip the lid on this and make it a full prize. This is a real tough one. I must say that I think we're beginning to edge to it. Mr. White runs beauty contests, most recently Miss Universe in South Carolina, and the young lady who won that became Miss Universe, you'll remember.
Oh, yes.
Miss Stevenson, wasn't her name?
Well, where's Miss Stevenson?
Miriam Stevenson, yes. And Mr. White was the one who started the ball rolling down there in South Carolina, and she's now Miss Universe. And he manages or runs beauty contests. You won the full prize. Our thanks for being a very interesting In just a minute, we'll meet. And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity. My friends on the panel have blindfolds for this particular part of our program every Sunday night. Are those blindfolds all in place, panel?
Yes, sir.
Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? All right, panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we get right down to the general questioning, which we will begin with Miss Arlene Francis.
Are you part of the entertainment world?
Yeah.
Do you? Somebody thinks you're real funny already. Have you appeared in pictures?
Yeah.
And in the theater?
Uh-huh.
Have you been on television?
Uh-huh.
You're active. Would you be considered a leading woman?
Uh-huh.
You usually get your man in the pictures that you're in?
Uh-huh.
Are you associated with any particular studio at this time?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Well, have you starred in a picture that is either playing on Broadway now or is about to open on Broadway?
No.
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Are you known for anything else aside from motion pictures?
Uh-huh.
Do you have a special talent like singing or dancing?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Allen.
Has it been determined that the guest is a leading woman? Is that what Arlene asked?
Yes.
The question was asked among many others, yes, and the affirmative reply came.
Wonder where she's leading.
She doesn't say that.
Have you appeared in more than one motion picture?
Uh-huh.
Have you ever appeared in a Technicolor picture?
Uh-huh.
Sounds like Minnie Mouse up to now. And you say you have appeared on television. Have you ever danced on television?
Uh-huh.
Wow. Are you a blonde?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
Would you say that you are better known on television than you are in any other medium at the present time?
Uh-huh.
Would you say you are very well known for something that you performed yesterday, not on television? You're the girl that got the fella that all the girls that watch television wish they got. You're Jayne Meadows, Allen.
That's right. Mickey Mouse.
I'm sorry.
Poor Brother Allen. On the block before marriage ever gets started. But I must say that I know I speak for all of my colleagues on the panel, for everybody that knows you both, and we all love you, and for all the folks outside who watch you both. We wish for you a long and a very happy married life. And thanks for being our
Thank you,
guest.
John.
Time in the night. All right, Battle, now let's see what you can do with the final challenger. Would you sign in, please, sir? Would you sign in now, please? C. Ellis. C. Ellis Harbison. Is that right, sir? Where are you from, Mr. Harbison?
Darien, Connecticut.
Darien, Connecticut. Well, I think time is a little short, so you look at the panel, let them look at you, and then you come with me, will you?
Very good.
Right over here. You sit right down. And the panel, having a very quick look at you, will still get one quick free guess, and we begin the free guesses with Miss Kilgallen.
Antique dealer.
Antique dealer, Mr. Allen.
Card sharp.
Miss Francis.
Laboratory technician.
Mr. Cerf.
Well, this seems to be a family party. I think he's Steve Allen's 4-year-old son.
No, I'm afraid not. We'll let our viewers have a further look at Mr. C. Ellis Harbison. At the same time, we'll tell them what his line is. Mr. Harbison, the panel has got to dig. You know how we score?
Yes.
We flip these cards. All right, Mr. Harbison is salaried. With that, we'll begin the general questioning with Dorothy Kilgallen.
Well, Mr. Harbison, do you work for a profit-making organization?
You work for a profit-making organization.
I work for a profit-making organization, yes.
Well, I'm glad. Is there a product involved?
No.
One down and 9 to go, Mr. Allen.
All services tonight. Would you call yourself in any sense a professional man, sir?
Yes.
Might people ever come to you for any kind of, advice or anything of that sort, however loosely?
Yes.
Might you perhaps, in giving it to them, require them to recline on a sofa or something of that sort?
Would you, in giving them advice, require them to recline on a sofa?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
As a professional man, then you have a degree.
Yes.
Would you help people who were not well?
Yes.
Not...
This is a tough one. I would say this, that in the general area of helping to get well, you would get a yes there.
In the general area of helping to get well. Mentally well?
Yes.
He's sure of that. You treat mental patients of any kind?
No.
Small conference. We have decided to give you a yes answer to that.
Have you?
Yes.
I'm very grateful to you. And to you, Doctor. Do you call Doctor?
No.
That makes it 3.
No, thank you.
3 down.
I am now becoming a mental patient.
3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Harbison, do you do your work in that very prosperous community of Darien up around there?
No.
You do not.
That makes it 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Do you deal with people rather than animals?
Do I do what?
You deal with people rather than animals.
Yes.
Now, wait a minute. Now we're getting... Actually, this is an area in which you deal with people because people usually have the control factor over the animals, you see.
Well, then, does your work involve animals?
Does your work involve animals?
Yes.
Does it have anything to do with the upbringing or training of animals?
No.
No, not specifically, and actually now we have to ring the boom down because our time has run out. This is a most interesting occupation. I think Dorothy had begun to lay the groundwork, which would have led you to it. No, Mr. Harbison is a dog psychologist. Actually, dogs that have behavior problems are brought to him, and he straightens out the dogs and straightens out the behavior. And Mr. Harbison, you get the full prize, and our thanks for being a grand guest on What's My Line, sir. Thank you very much for being with us. We'll be back in just... And now, until next week, this is John Daly saying good night, Miss Dorothy.
Oh!
The funniest sounding dog I ever heard. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being with us on What's My Line?
This has been a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production. In association with the CBS Television Network.